Welcome to our usual hovers. I'm Meeka Nomicon, and today I'm playing for the game Snuff. Well, we have been captured and forced to take part in a snuff film, and our objective is simple. All we have to do is simply survive. You awaken with a blindfold tightly wrapped around your eyes, bound to a chair. Your head spins like a wild carousel on the brink of derailing. A part of you wishes to just fade into the void from the pain, which might not be such a bad idea if you had any inkling of what was coming next. Well, I do say that calling out to someone is generally going to get you murdered. So let's just be antagonistic. What kind of sick joke is this? You hear unhinged laughter echoing from the darkness, and instinctively you turn your head trying to pinpoint its source. The ropes binding you tighten and grow more painful with each twist, but the manic laughs only grow louder, mocking your confusion. You know what? I did say I wanted to be antagonistic, so we're not going to remain silent. I don't say what's so funny, ass! You grit your teeth, furious at the hyenas circling you. Time to wake up, my new toy. To call that voice unsettling would be an understatement. You can almost picture the vicious grin as the words are spoken, a tongue tracing over lips in rhythm with the words. I hope you had sweet dreams. You'll need all your energy for tonight's show. He does not even bother hiding his dubious intentions. You try to pinpoint the source of the voice, but your head keeps spinning. I'm not going to beg you anything. You're the clown of this bunch of degenerates, aren't you? You crack me up, champ. Not at all. I'm just your lowly prince in shining armor, who's going to bust your ass if you don't start shaking it for the camera, you stupid wretch. You know what? Which one is more antagonistic? Well, that one I mutter under my breath, so where's the fun in that? Whatever you say, freak. I'll take that as an apology. For now. I may have just made it worse myself. Oh, my head's going to explode. You're quite delicate for just a hangover on my dime. Don't be ungrateful. I've spent a fortune on those drugs. Now, I want to get a return on my investment. That voice pierces your eardrums like a rat desperately digging a hole to escape a predator. As you take a moment to gather yourself, you realize the source of the voice is coming from an earpiece placed by your captors. Cut the crap! Tell me what you want! You're no fun at all. Well, call me the director. Behave, and you might just survive the night. What, with all limbs attached? You hear footsteps approaching you. They remove your blindfold, and you squint against the dim light. As your eyes adjust, you notice a mix of old and modern cameras scattered around the room. TV cameras, digital cameras, and even an old film camera with a hand crank. Suddenly, a hand grabs and rubs your shoulder. You know what? I'm not afraid to look death in the eye. You turn your head to face the possible judge and executioner. Well, aren't you a delight? Nice mask. As you turn your head, you see a black gas mask, its filters outlined with gleaming gems. Do you reckon it's functional? Are you gonna gas me at some point in this game? Piercing, crystalline blue eyes, contrasted with hair as red as flames, stare back at you, stunning, yet unnerving, cutting through your soul like blades. You scan the figure from top to bottom, latex from ankle to waist, combat boots, a Victorian corset, and her left arm covered in black tattoos against skin as white as snow. A particular sense of style out of place, a mysterious enigma in the shape of a woman. Oh, so do we want to insult her and potentially get her to stab us? Or do we want to emphasize? You know, I don't reckon she's trapped. She's clearly a part of this. Oh, insult it is. Serious question. Are you so ugly that you wear that mask? The sparkles don't really help, you know. The woman lands a punch straight to your mouth. You lose feeling in your jaw for a few seconds. Yeah, I kinda saw that coming. Quite the ladies, man, aren't you, kid? I'd suggest you keep it up. The more seasoned they get you, the better. Oh. Is that one supposed to be untranslated? Okay, lend her to me for a few minutes. She hits so weak, she's not even good. Oh, we don't really need to be lent her then, do we? You know, this bee got a good hook. Can't deny that. You spit on the floor, spitting saliva and blood. The woman, satisfied with your criticism, turns around, walking like a catwalk model, towards the spotlights and cameras. She does look like the crazy assistant. I don't reckon she's another victim. I should watch my back around her. You can smell the danger emanating from that she-devil. You hear the hyenas howl. The show is about to begin. The audience starts chanting a name, growing louder with every chant. Nix. Their voices rise to an almost hysterical pitch. Nix! 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 Calm down, my dear guests. I know you're all eagerly awaiting the introduction of our favourite hostess. Do you know what? I am rather curious. Watch the presentation. Generic rock music blares in the background. The spotlights and cameras shift their focus to the masked woman, Nix, who steps forward with her arms raised towards the ceiling. She starts doing side flips. The spotlight follows her every move. On the fifth flip, she performs a somersault and lands in the splits. She raises her arms once more, as if reaching for the heavens, her gaze fixed upwards at the ceiling of this filthy place. The audience erupts in applause. They're starving for the rest of the show. Oh, that's kind of an interesting opening. A dance performance and then, you know, torture porn. Welcome to Hostel. Nix walks towards you while you're still tied up. Let's put on the best show we can tonight, shall we, handsome? You're awful at flirting, miss. You're moving way too fast for my liking. Excuse me? The gothic woman is puzzled, not understanding this comment out of the blue. You and me, away from this monkey circus. What'd you say? Watch it with the snappy remarks, wannabe Casanova. I'm not known for my sense of humor. The director warns you through the earpiece. You stare at the cameras, able to hear the white noise from their screens. After this warm welcome, we'll proceed to the first game of the night. You hear applause, whether real or not, from the audience in the background. Well, now that you mention it, boss, I hope it's not a magic contest, since I can't pull a rabbit out of a hat unless you want me to pull it out of my ass. You fall silent for a moment, until you scream. Oh, just like your daddy showed me last night. Oh, Jesus Christ, I mean, I know I said I wanted to be antagonistic, but this is suicidal. A heavy silence hangs for a few moments. What did I just say? Suddenly, someone grabs you from behind, by the neck, with what appears to be a restraint collar attached to a metal extender. Wait, isn't this one of the dog catcher cable things? Actually, I can kind of see the benefit of this. I mean, if I was going to be put in a situation like this, where I'm going to be tortured for entertainment, I would probably be this antagonistic as well, just to get like an instant death. Because as much as I love my horror, I do not do well with injuries and pain. And let's face it, if I'm stuck in Hostel, there's a very, very, very slim chance that I'm going to be able to escape. So quick death is more than acceptable to me. You know what? Resist it! The collar tightens even more, and you begin to suffocate. I mean, I shouldn't keep resisting. I'm just curious what happens if we do. I mean, we definitely die, right? You shake your head, as if you were possessed. You try to free yourself in vain. You only stop until the oxygen in your brain starts to run out. But they do not loosen the collar. You continue to cling to life until it leaves your body. The director, fed up with you being a disobedient dog, sent you to be killed as such, beaten and suffocated, with your tongue hanging out. Well, I got my quick death at least. So now let's try not to resist. Two men dressed in black suits, with ties and their faces hidden, free you from your restraints. They lift you from the chair, and along with the one holding you restrained by the collar, they guide you towards the cameras. The bright lights dazzle you. The lights dazzle you. Nix rolls a card with a television on it to place it in front of you, and then steps back, becoming just a spectator. The men force you to kneel in front of the TV, and even though they let you go, the one with the leash stays alert. The screen only shows static. You look at the television screen. A figure begins to emerge on it. Have I ever told you about Jimmy? The director's voice asks. You can only see his outline on the screen, and the only thing you can make out from his apparent build is that he must be an obese man. I don't goddamn care! You don't want to listen to the rantings of that crazy, fat idiot, even if they're about to murder you. Just tell me what the hell you want to hear to cool your head off, and that's it. Unbelievable. After the movie reference, the TV is turned off. Oh, I'm about to lose some teeth, aren't I? The two masked thugs place a metal mouth opener on you. Another pair of hands with thick black gloves that looked like they came out of a lab. They grab your eye sockets with their fingers and pull your skull, making you look up. You are forced to smile with your mouth pointing to the sky. You feel your soul escaping from the pit in your guts. You see screens on the ceiling, all broadcasting in real time, your morbid smile, forced by the oral instrument, showing from your teeth and gums to your whole throat as a cesspool of saliva and vulnerable exposed pink flesh, to the delight of the spectators. You hear the audience cheering in pure frenzy in the background. The climax of the show has begun, ahead of schedule. Oh, my attitude really is going to get me murdered. You hear a container being opened with the liquid inside. Oh, that's not good for me at all. Then, you see an uncovered blue plastic jug being lifted above you. The contents make a noise of what seems to be debris crashing together as it floats inside. You could read on the white label, in large black print, sulfuric acid. Panic overcomes you. You want to run, to flee, but you can only scream for help. You see yourself panicking with the screens on the ceiling. Oh, damn! You're showered in acid. Wait, if you were just going to pour the acid over my head, did you open my mouth just to be a bit of an... You were just trying to be a bit of a monster, weren't ya? A corrosive rain soaks you, caresses your skin, burning and cracking it. Your throat and intestines exposed to the acid, melt like paper in water in seconds. You are showered with these decomposing human remaining down. The remains of the famous Jimmy, your predecessor. Your eyes become a sort of soup of pus and blood. After pouring out the entire contents of the canister, you writhe for almost another minute, hearing the audience applauding the deformed mass of fibers and organic tissue, trying to scream with their melted vocal cords. For a moment, you stop feeling pain. Your senses are overwhelmed. Your skin, blood, and other bodily fluids mingled with Jimmy's remains. You stop hearing the audience. The show is over. That was gnarly. So they quite literally opened my mouth just to torture me some extra, right? Because I was dead regardless of that sulfuric acid. I'm pretty sure there was a similar scene in a movie. I can't remember what it's called. I know it's like a group of friends go to a cabin for a party, and the older brother of a guy they injured just ends up torturing them all. And I'm pretty sure there is a scene where one of them has to ingest acid. I think it's battery acid, to be honest. It's brutal there as well. Can't remember what that's called, though. Anyway, no goddamn clue, boss. Too late to figure out your place after calling me that. But I'll give you a rundown on Jimmy's story. The figure on the television leans in towards you, its nicotine yellow teeth visible as it recounts the fate of the poor monster. Jimbo was a drama queen with a diva complex. She was too difficult to work with, so I had to let her go. In grand style, of course. My way. I can't afford to have disobedient women on my cast. Huh. Well, I'm a dead man anyway, so I think we can survive this. Just tell me what to do so I don't get killed, for God's sake. You're hysterical with fear, clinging to life. The director savors your suffering. I'll ask you something very simple. Bring a tear to my eye, begging for your skin. You can hear the director's breathing from the screen. This is your last chance. Do not waste it. Honestly, I don't think you have a drop of compassion left in you. I don't feel like either of these options are a good choice, but alright, old man. Time to lick the director's ass. Well, okay, so going on to immediately insult him is probably not gonna endear us to him. So let's go for self-depreciation. I am the biggest piece of garbage a mother could ever give birth to. I am not even worthy of being part of your masterpiece. Spare my life. Please, I beg you. To be fair, if I went with this and you were like Kramer, that would not help us. I mean, he wants us to appreciate life. Calling us self-worthless is probably not going to help us. Even after wiping his ass with your words, the director still doesn't say anything. You have the feeling that you should say something more. What the hell? No, I don't think we're going for this one. Sorry, we have to. I'm not saying the words though, but... please don't kill me! The audience started to laugh at your expense. They were amused to see you crawling around like a worm licking your host's ass. Okay, if the little girl insists in wanting to satisfy Daddy and behave well, then great. Put him back in his place, guys. Let's act as if nothing happened, little boy. You feel how Daddy winks at you. You feel violated, and with your pride on the floor, as dirty as the guts of a freshly crushed cockroach, yet alive. I don't know if this choice was better than the acid. The director's goons tie you up, back to the chair where you woke up in this nightmare. They take off your leash, but without yet giving you back your freedom. You are equal parts relieved and disgusted. The show must go on. Now, with no more dilly-dallying and bull, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the first game of the night. The clapping and cheering you hear sound like they're canned straight out of a cheap sitcom. Enjoy my grand masterpiece for your amusement. It's a privilege for you all to be here, especially behind the cameras, and not as tonight's guest. The director's inflated ego and stale humor seep through even without him being on set. You turn your head upon hearing a noise behind you. Oh, that's a whole coffin. You see a masked employee pushing some kind of coffin on a cart. How thoughtful. They've gone to the trouble of picking out my eternal resting place. You think sarcastically about your dire predicament. At least, with luck, your remains will rest in one piece. You glance over at Nix. You see the director's assistant leaning against one of the many cameras, her gaze distant, twirling with one of her red braids. You ignore her. You'd rather not upset Nix's boss by getting caught sneaking glances at his employee while he delivers his grand speech. What a good, obedient dog you are! You go from being his plaything to the apple of his eye, and suddenly to a mangy dog. You better keep that attitude. Don't get sidetracked by nonsense. I'm actively trying to survive this round, aren't I? I'll obey my master in silence. The director doesn't speak either. Your obedience is understood without words or howls. Get my star ready, gentlemen. At the order of the director, you're finally released. No leashes, no ties. You feel free, trapped in that hell. A placebo effect of false freedom. I would love to rush towards the cameras in a frenzy. That's just gonna get us murdered. Let's just hold off. I want to see what this game is. That's what I want to do. You don't move a muscle. You're terrified. Complete silence, except for your own breathing. Soon after, you start hearing the laughter of your audience in the background. They're laughing at you, enjoying your terror. Your sudden freedom leaves you as bewildered as a deer caught in the headlights, just moments before being struck. It seems our star has stage fright, the director remarks, his voice booming over the sinister laughter of his audience. Nix, get him out of there before he craps himself. As Nix moves towards you, the director joins the deranged chorus, filling the ambience. Inhuman smiles roam around you, accompanied by the cacophony of hyenas laughing and the omnipresent voice that feeds their twisted minds. Don't goddamn fail me now, with how well you were going. Her words ooze a sudden tenderness despite the chastisement. You walk among the cameras and notice that no one operates them, even the oldest ones that require a crank wind themselves up. They turn silently, like mechanical beasts whose red recording lights mimic the eyes of predators in the night. Finally, you're stopped in front of a black metal door, almost invisible in the dim light of the recording studio. Behind you, the squeal of a cart breaks the silence. A dark coffin emerges, almost blending with the shadows, reflecting the faint light of the spotlights on its polished edges. The employee places it in front of the door, leaving you and Nix in between. Nix's hair shines like a torch of red fire amidst the darkness. You hear a megaphone come to life. Your god is calling you. Welcome to the labyrinth, the showman shouts at the top of his lungs, where you can leave your mother-in-law, the math teacher who always failed you, or even better, your kids if you want to get rid of them, without the law knowing. Scout honor. A spotlight turns on you directly above you. It's a damn miracle you're still alive, you little crapper. That's the spirit. Screw you. Never leave your audience unsatisfied, just like you wouldn't with your lady. That's what I'm talking about. You can't tell if he's being sincere or just laughing in your damn face. I mean, can't we go to a commercial break? But no, I'll play your stupid maze game. Get in and get out. Sounds clear enough. Feeling cocky, huh? So I take it you want to start now, without hearing the rules? On second thought, I think I'd rather hear them. I want to give you quality material without my desecrated corpse in the final version. My only advice, just go with it. No sarcasm or sign of annoyance on his part. That calm response unsettles you more than his expected childish outburst would have. The entrance to the maze opens with a deafening noise, as if trapped souls were trying to escape after failing to do so in life. When it fully opens, it reveals a bottomless abyss. However, you can see glimmers of light on its sides. They are mirrors. You hear the coffin creak open behind you. Before you can fully turn around, you hear the revving of an engine. He's got a goddamn chainsaw, hasn't he? With a Minotaur pulling the start cord, you feel the massive figure with the bull mask eyeing you like a piece of meat. Despite the mask, you both lock eyes for a second, and then the labyrinth game begins. The starting signal for you is the pounding of your heart on the verge of bursting. For your audience is the roar of the chainsaw. God damn! Well, looking down is probably a bad idea. I kind of want to see what would happen if we die. Like, does that have a really good visual? I need to find out. Look down! You see black puddles to the left. Dried blood, perhaps. Their edges splashed towards the right. The roar of the chainsaw brushes against your neck. Left? You run towards your left side, running with your eyes closed, spitting like an animal, running until you hit a dead end. You claw at your own reflection, trying to climb the mirrors in vain. Without turning around, the Minotaur starts sawing your torso. You fall to the ground. The pain is so intense, you almost go into shock. Using one of your arms as a shield, you butcher cuts it like butter. You maintain consciousness until you see that monster starting to gut you with the serrated teeth. You feel the rust caressing your insides until everything turns dark. Right, I will actively try and survive this time. Go right. You quickly turn to the right, almost at ground level. You find yourself in an endless hallway flanked by mirrors. The white lights, similar to those of a laboratory, flicker in rhythm with mechanized echoes of your pursuer, which reverberates between the walls. As you move forward, you can make out a door in the distance with a glowing sign that reads exit. I don't know if I trust it. I don't think I'm gonna speed up. An exit sign? Really? Come on, the hell is this, Looney Tunes bull? You think before coming to a sudden stop, looking for an alternative. The Minotaur tackles you, throwing you to the ground. He doesn't care that you're tired of living. Better for him. Oh, damn! I was actually trying to survive that time. The chainsaw starts slicing through your stomach, leaving your intestines hanging. Your screams bounce along the hallway of mirrors, the echoes of pain mixing with the background laughter of the audience, until you can no longer hear the cheers for your performance. Okay, apparently the exit is not a trick. Just speed up and get the hell out of there. Even on the brink of a heart attack, you keep up the pace until you reach the end of the hallway. You crash into the door. The mirror located right above you allows you to see the Minotaur, picking up speed. Open up, for hell's sake! You shout as you desperately pound on the door. Don't be rude. Ask nicely, like I told you. The Minotaur is about to catch you. Okay, please, open up! The door opens, and you're dragged inside just as it shuts behind you, muffling the roar of the chainsaw. You find yourself in a sterile white room, reminiscent of a hospital's cold operating theatre. Cameras surround you, pointing from every angle, and a group of employees, all in suits and masks, scrutinize you intently. You can feel the audience's gaze piercing through to you, very soul, with your heart threatening to jump out of your throat. The applause is deafening, paired with the blinding light of the spotlights. Amidst the howls of the audience, you manage to pick out the director's voice. You and I need to have a chat, sweetheart. Your master tugs on the leash, tied to your mind. You sense something is off. We are not satisfied. The director's complaints blare through multiple suddenly activated megaphones, accompanied by the roar of the audience. The onslaught is so overwhelming that, at least for a moment, you find yourself wanting to curl up in the fetal position for cover. Okay then. I mean, do we really care what they've done with Nyx? At this point, she's not with us. Okay. Makes sense you weren't satisfied and all. I mean, we're not gonna install the maze. Installing the maze is gonna get us chucked back into the maze. I did all what you wanted. Give me a break, you bunch of animals. Shut your trap, you moron. We want blood. Someone has to die tonight. Die for my audience. Several thugs grab you by your hands, legs, arms, neck, and even your eyes. Digging their fingers in, they lift you up together, and you resist in vain by pure instinct. You pass through various doors, catching glimpses of hallways with blinding white lights. Several doors later, you arrive at a room with a circular cage. Oh, you look big! Inside of which is a burly, almost naked man of roughly your height, wearing only dirty underwear. You know what? I don't think I want a cage fight today. I mean, it's a generous offer, but I think I'll go back for the chainsaw, thank you very much. You remain silent. Don't want to annoy this pack of dogs. You are put inside the cage. Inside, you get a closer look at who would be your opponent. A seemingly normal man, perhaps another victim like you. You find yourself about 6 meters apart. He turns around, revealing his lips sewn shut, with festering sores at the corners. His eyes are red with madness, desperation, and a will to live. The dark circles around his eyes aren't just from fatigue, but also from the oceans of tears he must have shed before getting here. Just like you, he will fight for his life. Huh. I mean, I should probably wait for our Lord and Master, right? But he did say he wants blood. So it's nothing personal. His expression doesn't change. He doesn't give a damn about your empathy. He just wants to get it over with as soon as possible, one way or another. Just like in school, beat each other up, or better yet, stabbing each other to death. Oh, well, we've got blades now. 2 military knives drop in front of you, right in between the two of you. The metallic clang as they hit the floor is the signal. Kill or be killed. Run towards the knives. Like, if we're fast enough, grabbing both would be a great idea. You both sprint towards your only available weapons and are just half a meter away from each other. I mean, we could lunge for our opponent before he grabs the knife. Oh! Well, it says attempt to kick your opponent in the face. It doesn't say we succeed to. I say lunge at our opponent. You rush towards your opponent, grabbing him just before he can arm himself. You take him by the neck and apply a chokehold. The poor devil tries to resist, but cannot free themselves from your grip. You begin to suffocate him, his filthy sweat flooding your nostrils. The smell of victory is close. You continue to suffocate him until he stops fighting for his life. You notice how his soul leaves his body in your arms. You feel all his dead weight on you. You end his suffering. Cheap quiz show sound effects play in the background. And we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen! Applause from the audience, fake or not, floods the room. Why do I get the feeling they're not going to be satisfied? I don't think this would have been bloody enough for them. You can take a break. Let's prepare a special dressing room for you. They won't let me go. They won't let their rising star escape. You say to yourself, you know this nightmare isn't over. You'll have to play along, but for now at least, you're alive. I just want a break from this crap, at least for today. You're escorted out of the cage by the director's goons, and you go along without resisting. You walk through an endless series of hallways, their white walls reminiscent of a psychiatric hospital, so clean and sterile that it's almost as jarring as the macabre show they mask with their fake pure white. You hear screams from other actors like you, ranging from chilling cries of pain to sadistic shouts of pleasure. If wolves could feel, they would weep blood. Your mind teeters on the brink of madness, seeking shelter in a dark corner of your subconsciousness. They lead you to a cell with no windows or bars that allow you to see beyond its 4 inner walls. Inside, the smell of dampness pervades. The darkness envelops you as soon as they shut the door behind you. You manage to find the bed. It seems there's no one else in here, just you and your thoughts. I guess we sleep then. So I wonder then, is Nyx actually just another victim of this? So what if we just act nice towards her? So, as if I had any other choice. Hey, sweetie, listen. We're here to have a good time, okay? Everything will be fine, trust me, she says, winking at you, with an eerie calm, like a mother comforting her child after he's gone a scrape playing in the park. She's attempting to keep you hopeful. She's an expert on the subject, given her own circumstances. I don't get why you follow orders from this gang of degenerates, you remark as the crowd starts booing you in the background. What do they give you in return? Money? Drugs? Maybe both? Stop it, sweetie. I don't want to kill you before it's time. The hostess advises, shielding you from the wrath of your so-called fans. I wonder if we keep asking Nix for help. Is that gonna get us murdered? Psst. Hey, cutesy. A little help if you can. I find it hilarious how much of an idiot you are. His screams almost deafen you through the earpiece. Despite this, perhaps out of simple absent-mindedness, you dare to interrupt the ringmaster's brilliant narcissistic speech. I was bored, plain and simple. And you just felt like chatting up my assistant, you baboon. The director is incredulous at your honesty. Nix, take the electric baton from by your fans' balls. Oh, Nix, listen. Maybe don't go that far. Nix stands up from her resting spot. One of the thugs tosses her the weapon mentioned by the director, and she begins walking towards you. You look Nix straight in the eye. Your gaze screams, "You're better than this, and you know it!" The woman with crystal eyes and fiery hair returns your gaze. That facade of a femme fatale fades away, revealing the shades of a scared little girl. Oh, it's actually working! Huh. You keep looking into her eyes, ready to endure until the end. You challenge and test the humanity of your own tormentor. The woman with crystal eyes and fiery hair meets your gaze, and you get lost in the crystal blue sea of her eyes. The cane strikes with decision your noble parts. You feel the pressure, but the sparks are conspicuous by their absence. Nix, my dear, did you happen to turn it on? His sense of humor deflates with his evident invitation. It's not working, boss. One of these imbeciles must have broken it. Nix replies, tossing the stick to one of the employees. He tries to activate it, waving it in the air if it were a toy magic wand, but the magic refuses to show itself. That's what you get for buying cheap. The cheap stuff, darling. You see Nix holding a pair of batteries in her hand. Her fingers, the middle and index, shaping a peace sign on purpose. You give her a grateful smile, trying to mask it with a feigned look of confusion. Lucky son of a bee! Let's get on with the goddamn movie, says the host, just before the baton is even checked. Oh, I'm sorry I misjudged you, Nix. You can tell that his assistant knows him very well. He knows about his childish impatience. The director's employees turn to their posts, including Nix. The real show starts now. Well, I know this is going to get us attacked, but I want to rush towards the cameras in a frenzy, searching for freedom. No one stops you. As you run, a spark of hope ignites within you, the genuine possibility of escaping this hell. But maybe that's just what they want you to feel. Oh, hi there! Am I going to get impaled on your horns? Suddenly, a man with a deer head stands in your path. The guy is massive, standing at around 6.5 feet. What stands out, other than his size, is his striking red business suit, offset by a black shirt and a white tie. Well, there's no way I can beat him. Let's face it, I'm gonna die regardless. I could fade to the side trying to confuse him, but I like the aggressive response. And I say, we just kick him straight in the virile member. The deer man stood impassively. Oh, that didn't have much of an effect then, did it? As you recover from the shock, that monster seized your leg. It pulled at you as if you were a poorly placed sack of potatoes, and you crumpled to the ground. Oh, damn, he's gonna snap my leg off. The giant with antlers took a step forward, twisted your leg sharply, and pressed down on your waist, declaring complete dominion over you. Chill, big guy, your tormentor shouts at the deer-headed man. If you off him now, we'll have deer steak for dinner, compliments of the boss. The beast obeys the beauty, retracting his claws from you. You struggle to stand due to the pain, which is a good sign. It means you're still alive, and still have bones left to break. Allow me to introduce Santa Claus's favorite assistant, the handsome cousin of goddamn Rudolph. He might not have a red nose, but he'll leave you black and blue if you try to play games with him. Presenting Mr. Deer. Applause echoes like the crowd at an amateur freak wrestling show. This crazy son of a bee must live in a world of his own. His own bubble, where he thinks he's damn scorsy. You're not a film critic, but you don't need to be one to realize this. Nick strides over to where you lay sprawled on the floor, resembling a critter flattened by a truck on the highway. The woman yanked you up by the armpits, and the bones on your waist emit a crack as you're hoisted to your feet. You can walk, but the pain is enough to make you curse Rudolph's hormone-induced ancestors. Shortly after, the director's assistant guides you to another corner of the room. Nix kicks you in, and you hear the roar of a chainsaw, giving you more than enough reason to bolt straight into the maze. As you enter, several lights come on, and you see your reflection in the walls, being chased by a massive man with a boar's head, and a pallid minotaur hot on your heels with a chainsaw in hand. At the end of the corridor, you see your own self straight ahead, with your pursuer just a few meters behind you. There are two ways to pick. Choose or die. Okay then, let's just still focus on Nyx. What have you done with Nyx? I don't see her. What the hell do you want with that woman now? Move your ass or I'll blow it up myself. Several thugs grab you by your hands, legs, arms and neck, and even your eyes. Digging their fingers in, they lift you up together. You resist in vain by pure instinct. Okay, I say we actually go for a bloody death this time. You wait for your lord and master to give the order. Just like in school? Beat each other up, or better yet, stab each other to death. You run towards the knives. I say. You pick up the knife and attack first. Oh, damn, that works as well. You take a quick step forward to close the distance. Your opponent steps back, but you continue your knife strikes aimed at their neck, their blood. Don't stop. There's no turning back. You're in a frenzy, still having enough energy to keep on the offensive. Your opponent can barely hold on until they trip and fall backwards. You don't wait to give them a chance to get up. You stab them in the heart. Right after a couple of seconds, your enemy drops the knife. A merciful death. You could say you did him a favor. You hear the cheers of your fans. A brutal death, as well as absolute victory. The audience, to your surprise, is content without you being the one drowning in his own blood. Finally, my princess has grown some balls. You hear your carnival god shout, proclaiming that his broken toy has been fixed by a harmless bloodbath. Daddy is so proud of his princess, but don't expect a warm shower. I won't tolerate any more of your whims for today. Where is Nyx? What's left of her, you mean? Don't worry, I haven't killed her off. My boys just made sure to remind her that I don't find it amusing when they interfere while we're shooting. Your personal escort arrives. It's time to meet Nyx. They escort you through what seems like an underground network of recording studios, a complex devoted to taboo entertainment, where morality is the only thing forbidden. The walls, as white and clean as those of a hospital, contrast jarringly with the obscene filth they contain. You think of the big shots, politicians, other degenerates with excess capital and too much free time, who revel in the unfortunate souls trapped in this whitewashed hell. As you move forward, grotesque echoes of pain are heard, and others you don't recognize or wish not to know. You can't help but hope that none of those voices you hear belong to Nyx. You stop right in front of one of the many doors. It's astonishing that they know which one they're looking for. There are no numbers or letters indicating anything. 2 minutes. Don't make us wait when we come back. With those words, they leave you alone for the first time. There is no point in trying to escape without getting lost and ending up as an unexpected last-minute guest on a live recording. Open the door. The room is illuminated by a single light in the center of the ceiling, a screw-in bulb shining as brightly as a lighthouse in the engulfing darkness that consumes the rest of the space. Nyx? You dead? Beneath the halo of light lay a motionless woman with her face pressed against the ground, wearing only one boot, and a shattered, glittering mask lay beside her. Her red braids blend with the flesh blood stains on her clothing. You rush towards Nyx. Oh, damn! Her skin, as white as snow, is covered in bruises from head to toe, with cigarette burns all over her back. Her clothes are torn apart. They still cover her modesty. It doesn't seem like she was assaulted. Her knuckles, clad in mittens, are smeared with blood, but there isn't as much as her arm. She must have defended herself as best she could. You cradle her head with care, fearing the worst. Her lips are swollen like plums. Her neck is red with scratches, signs of attempted suffocation. Her left eye black as a raisin. Her forehead was covered in her own blood. It would be a miracle if she were still alive. Don't die on me now. I wanted to thank you, at least before I am the one who dies. Don't be such a drama queen, darling. Nyx replies to you as she opens her right good eye, a diamond which looks like an eye. Got a cancer stick? You pick up a used cigarette from the ground, the only one you have at hand. I'll take it. Pass it to me. You put the cig close to her bleeding lips. I'm sorry for being such an annoying woman, but if you can light it for me, too, please. Use the light in my back pocket. You find the lighter and light her cigarette. Thanks, handsome. We have no choice but to help each other until we get out of this crap hole. I know you have a lot of questions, but as cliche as it sounds, I'm assuming we don't even have enough time to smoke this smoke in peace. What do we want to do here? Well, do I promise we'll get out of here? It seems like an empty promise. Well, you know, you're taking this mysterious femme fatale act to a whole new level. Maybe a bit too much, don't you think? And you're a lovable ass. The woman with bleeding diamond eyes responds, giving you a playful slap on the back of your head. You're each other's only company in this hell. Maybe you can escape together. Not if you have to kill each other first. Oh, damn! So apparently I can get us electrocuted even before we lose the blindfold. All we gotta do is be as arsey as possible. You're electrocuted with some kind of electroshock weapon in your chest. Your heart races like an engine about to explode. Alright, you win! That's how I like it. Good boy. So I'm guessing then, if we don't try and appeal to Nyx's inner nature, we're gonna get electrocuted, right? So at least I never wanted children, you console yourself. Nyx presses the cane against your walls, giving you a VIP treatment that many fetishes have excess capital would gladly invest in. If you would invest in this, you're goddamn degenerate. For an instant, the pain makes you delirious, as if you were in a trance, dreaming awake, seeing beyond. Electric sparks reflect in Nyx's eyes, blue flashes submerged in the crystalline sea that, for a moment, evokes a childhood that you doubt even existed. Memories of a serene sea, a temple of peace, like the mother's womb before birth. In your torturer's gaze, you see sadness drawn. That bright and imposing mask is not to instill fear, but to hide her own feelings, her humanity. You make a superhuman effort to stay conscious. Your fans are counting on you to last until the end of the show. What are those laughs? Pure and innocent? Not like those of hungry hyenas. This uncertainty haunts you, just like the pain, evoking forgotten memories that may never have happened, but serve as a refuge from the horror of reality. Get my star ready, gentlemen. Alright, it's our last option then. I wonder if we can actually lose this cage fight. So let's attempt to kick our opponent in the face before he harms himself. The man with sewn lips grabs your leg, causing you to lose your balance and fall to the ground. Your opponent, already armed, begins to stab you as if possessed by a demon, with their eyes stained from red from your own blood. Oh damn, we can actually lose this fight! Holy crap! He severed our spine! You know what though? Screw you, Stone Lips man! Did you have to turn into nearly headless Nick? As your gaze begins to lose its vital shine, the pain is so intense that your body goes into shock and you feel nothing no more. The last thing you see before your death are the white lights of the ceiling, seeking eternal rest from your torturous earthly existence. So, good news is, we survived our Snuff film. Well, the first one. Let's face it, we're still trapped, so we're gonna have to do this all over again. If you enjoyed your time here, I'd really appreciate you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. But other than that, you have a spooky day and I'll catch you next time, guys.